Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So we are going to continue our No Dust No Worries Rogue Hearthstone laddering experiment. So let's just hop back in and start queuing. So in the last video we did really strongly. Started with 3 wins, but I don't expect this to continue at all as we head into rank 20 and above, because I think at the start of the season anyone who really cares about laddering is gonna pull up their pants and start playing. Yeah, so just to reiterate, the series is actually let's actually put that aside for now. You guys can read the description if you need to know more about the series. It's just I play Hearthstone from an empty account, playing Rogue, no legendaries, no epics, no adventures, seeing how far we can go. So talking about last game, I was talking about tempo, and this is an excellent example of tempo. Okay, not so excellent anymore, but if I hadn't drawn another one drop, I would have had to make a call between playing a Voodoo Doctor for a just as a Voodoo Doctor and gaining no value from the heal, and against Shaman you always want to make the tempo play, especially on turn 1. If you can push out a 1 drop for a 2/1, it locks out his turn 2. Especially as a rogue, it locks out his turn 2 because he can't. I mean, he can totem up, but 3 out of 4 totems don't do any damage. So the totems are healing 0/2, taunt 0/2, spell power 0/2, and flame tongue. Not flame tongue. What was it called? We'll see. Things are slipping my mind at the moment. And it's so powerful to push out a 2/1 against Shaman because it locks out their turn 2, like I said. And as a rogue, if they roll the 1/1 totem, you can just weapon up and kill it. And you develop your 2/1 and it's done 2 damage. It does 2 damage to the face. It's really, really powerful and important to establish tempo against a Shaman. Okay, looks like he's just going to set up his. I don't think he's going to trade with his clockwork. I'm assuming he wants to buff that up, but he might also have a shredder. The most likely line of play when you have a power mace in your deck is turn 3 power mace, clear something or go face, and turn 4 shredder. So he's definitely got a shredder. I'm just going to make a read that he has a shredder. I could obviously be wrong, but I'm just going to make that read. He's got a turn 4 mech to play. It's either a shredder or something else that's 2 mana plus hero power. Luckily we have the perfect answer to shredder, especially a buffed up shredder. Just sap it back to his hand, and he's spent his entire turn doing basically nothing, whilst we only spend 2 mana to. Well, that's the great thing about sap. Sap is such a powerful card against slower decks. You effectively pay 2 mana to negate one of their previous actions, and if their previous action was just setting up Yeti and then buffing it, you get so much value because you spend 2 mana and you negate his turn 4, and it's really, really ridiculously good look. Sorry, no, not good looking, powerful. I've got Zoolander on the mind. And sap also, you really have to think of sap as either a late game tempo play again, or as a silence. The text does not say silence. It says return an enemy minion to your opponent's hand. But if an opponent plays something and then buffs it, the most common scenario I can think of is probably Blessing of Kings or Power Word Shield. But Kings is more relevant here because Kings costs 4 mana. You sap it back to hand. Not only do you unplay the minion, but you destroy the Kings. So at that point, sap becomes a tempo and a value play. And this is why I really think 1 sap in Rogue is really strong. If you're going to go aggressive, maybe 2 saps. 2 might be a little bit overkill. I can't deal with the tank. Can I deal with the tank? Oh yeah, I can deal with the tank. What am I talking about? I've got a huge. Okay, I wasn't thinking straight. I should use my face on the taunt because these guys will die to the tank anyway. Or I could save a boar by using my face on the. Oh, let's save a boar. Let's save a boar. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Choose soon.
No, it's not. Oh, I'm so silly. Sorry, I'm feeling very adult. This is just for context. The League of Legends World Finals just happened last night, and we had a viewing party over at my place. And you know, people were expecting the games to be fairly one-sided, and you know, honestly, like they were. But it's still a long event, and for us watching it here, you're starting at 10 p.m. and it went till about 3 in the morning. So I am not operating at 100%. I apologize for that in advance. You know, but I really did feel that I wanted to get back onto the rogue train, do some more work with this deck and this laddering concept, because I really enjoy it. It's okay. Yeah, because I really want to see, like, I want to see for myself how far I can push this deck and push my skills with the rogue class. And I think you can actually do quite a lot if you know what you're doing, and if you can craft if you can pick up or craft certain tech cards, such as, well, let's talk about tech cards. What tech cards am I going to pick up? So tech cards, just to clarify. Okay, do I want to do Assassin's Swamp? I think I will, because Assassin's Swamp means I can clear the Yeti if he clears my swamp. I could be sprinting, but I've said before, sprinting, the later you sprint, the better, because it's more likely that you draw into something that you can play concurrently with a sprint, and that goes for most draws. Anyway, let's go back to the League World Finals. Yes, it was a long night. It was pretty exciting to watch, honestly, and you know, I'd love to hear from you guys what you thought about the result. I'm not going to spoil it here. It was a long night, but it was worth watching. You know, it was good, but I'm not a high school student anymore. I'm not used to staying up 3 or 4 hours past my bedtime, basically. Okay, Ogre. So if I play Ogre, if he buffs this thing, it becomes a 6/7. But if I leave the gnome up, there's a chance that the buff will go to the gnome, and that's probably good for me. So I'm going to leave the gnome up. I'm going to clear the Cogmaster and leave the gnome up, because it's actually well, either way, it's quite bad for him. Because for either of them to clear me, he needs to swing into the Ogre, and he's taking a fireball to the face if he swings into Ogre. Which leads me to think he's more likely to swing at my face and then buff one of these guys. But even if he buffs, if he buffs one of these guys, it's better if he buffs the Clockwork Gnome, because a buffed Yeti is not challenged by my Ogre, especially since this Stoneclaw is here, because I need to use my Assassin's Blade to take down the Stoneclaw, and then my Ogre can clear whatever gets buffed. The buff going onto the Clockwork will make a 4/3. Just double checking. Yeah, we'll make a 4/3. So he's actually ordering things so that the buff doesn't go onto the Clockwork, which worked out actually pretty well for me. Like, it forced him to sort of waste his Clockwork. Okay, Fan. I can't really. I think I just have to take the pain and draw a load of cards and see if we can push through next turn. Seems a little unlikely. I think we're in a pretty tough spot. Really, what happened with that there? I think it was the 2 weapons. I think the two. I'm terrible for names. The 2 hammers that buff next did a lot of work for the Shaman. Cleared a lot of my minions. And you know, he rolled a couple of fortunate totems, and yeah, so he's done pretty well. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to fan here. There's no other way. I'll have to fan swing at the Annoyatron. If I fan swing, I have 7 mana. 7 mana probably means I'm going to want to Senjin to stop some damage. And I don't think I want a Shattered Sun, because Senjin's going to go down to... Anyway, let's draw a card first. I'm thinking a little too far ahead, I feel. So we're going to do this. We're definitely going to do it. We're definitely going to play the Senjin. I could either Weapon Up or Voodoo Doctor. I mean, Voodoo Doctor, Weapon Up, or Shattered Sun. The issue with Shattered Sun is it dies for free. I mean, not dies for free. The buff makes no difference. So I will actually play with a little more tempo because this is a non-value play. Usually it is a value play because it pushes one of your minions out of range, but because the Yeti has more than 5 attack and 6 attack, because it is pushing it to a 6 health minion, it does make a difference against a 6 attack Yeti. I prefer to set up. I prefer to gain a little bit of health, gain the tempo of my Wicked Knife, because, and I didn't quite think of this before, having the 2 inventors in hand is really important. It allows me to draw and play cards because we're at 10 mana now, so it's very possible that I could draw and play things, or I could even double buff the Voodoo and take down the Yeti. If it comes down to that, and sometimes it just comes down to taking 6 damage to face. Oh, okay, that's no good. He's playing safe there. It's a good play. Safe play, and looks like we're in a lot of trouble. So we'll see how we go. Rewind. What? Is he just showing off? Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're in quite a lot of trouble. That's the Flame Tongue has done a lot of work for him this turn. I'm just going to have to draw into things because I have no direct removal in my hand. One of the things I'll really need in this stick is Eviscerate. And yeah, so that's not something I can use. That's not something I can use.
Here we go. Well played.
Yeah, so this deck definitely lacks a little bit of quicker removal. Weapon-based removal is good, usually higher value than spell-based removal, but is weak to taunts and therefore, not so great against things like Shaman. Okay, let's see who we line up against this time. Paladin again. It's always Paladin.
I will fight with honor.
As soon as I think I get away, they pull me back in. But that's okay. And I actually, this is a good chance for me to refer you to one of the videos I've recently done on my channel in the Sound and Fury playlist. It's a different style of video. It's not a video in which I just commentate my playing of a Hearthstone deck. It's really actually me talking about the game design and card balance design. And what I did was, well, I woke up in the morning, I saw Kripp posted a video asking whether Mysterious Challenger is OP. And basically came to the conclusion. He came to the conclusion that yes, it is OP. So give me a moment. I'm going to include links. Is MCOP. Yeah, I don't like to talk about videos in my. I don't like to talk about things in my videos unless I have a link to them so that you guys can, get some context. Don't just take my word for it. If I want to talk about Kripp's videos, you should go and watch them for yourself. Make up your own mind. Anyway, so to summarize, what he said was he thinks that the Mysterious Challenger is the strongest card coming out of TGT, and that it's not fun to play against, and that it's basically broken. And that he presented some bots, some Reddit stuff from botters, alleged botters. It's always quite dodgy, that sort of data. And the botters show stats saying that Paladin is the only class with above 50% win rate. Sorry. Yeah, and I really like, I get his points, and I like some of his points, but I really can't agree because I think the issue with Paladin at the moment is. The issue with Paladin at the moment is a very strong early game. I think that something like Mysterious Challenger, and just to reiterate, Mysterious Challenger is a 6-drop. It's an epic 6-mana card for Paladin. When it's played, its battle cry says, the battle cry effect is that it pulls all of the secrets out of your deck. So it takes every Paladin secret in your deck and plays it onto the board. That might sound a little confusing, but basically what it actually does is it takes 5 of the secrets out of your deck and then it puts them into play. So it draws and plays 5 secrets. The issue with that, I think we're facing up against some variant of Secrets Pally. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about my turn. I'm probably gonna backstab, and if there's a get down, I can still fan. If there's a get down, I can still fan. Do I assume there's a get down? Is there a get down? That's always the question against Secrets Pally. Is there a get down? I don't want to have to fan. I'm gonna assume there's a get down. No, there isn't. Okay, that's still fine. Because okay, it's a redemption. That's fine. I should have made the read that it was a redemption, because if you play annoying Divine Shield Taunt minions, redemption is really synergistic with annoying Annoyatrons and Sludge Belchers and things with Death Rattle, things like Harvest Golems that leave behind. So if you get redemption, if you redemption a Harvest Golem, you get the original Harvest Golem at 1 health, and then you get the damaged Golem. So and the original Harvest Golem can also trigger its Death Rattle later on, creating another damaged Golem. So it's really powerful. What did you just do? Kings? Okay, where's my sap? I threw my sap back. That would have been really powerful here. So I was talking just a couple of games ago about how strong sap really is. I think I'm just going to... Actually, no, I'm going to play the Warlord. And I will develop a 6/6 and clear this Annoyatron with everything else in my board. That is the most solid play here. Everything else is a little too clunky, I feel. Yeah, I didn't have anything else that added up to 5 mana. It was just the Warlord that was strong. So yeah, there's a bunch of issues that I have with Mysterious Challenger. I don't think it's the strongest card in TGT. I don't think it's the strongest card in Hearthstone. What I do think is that with the changes to Warsong Commander and the perceived nerf to Patron Warriors, is this a get down? It doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, it is. Now it's a get down. With the perceived nerf to Patron Warrior, sorry, let me just gather my thoughts. With the perceived nerf to Patron Warrior, classes that play large amounts of small annoying things, a la Paladin, Zoo, are really coming back because they're no longer punished by charging patrons. So, you know, Patron Warrior on turn 8 can play Warsong Commander, which previously gave charge to all minions that you play or are summoned. I think it gave charge to all summoned minions on your turn, and now it just gives 1 attack to all charged minions, which is basically... Anyway, there's been enough talk about that sort of change. But because of the perceived nerf to Warsong Commander and thus Patron Warrior, classes such as Pally that create a lot of little guys, which against Patron would just make more patrons for the warrior player, they become more popular. Okay, I can weapon fan leaves me with 2 mana, which is a little awkward. I think I will just assassins. Yeah, I will assassins the recruit. I think I'll save the fan for muster. I mean any basically any paladin worth his nut will have a muster for battle and 2 divine shielded mini bots in their deck. And really, in my video that I made, the Sound and Fury video, in which I rant about which I sort of reason out why Mysterious Challenger isn't overpowered, but I reached the conclusion that early game Paladin is overpowered, especially given that Patron Warrior is no longer a thing, or no longer. It's really interesting to think about the perception of a thing versus what the thing actually is, because if you watch the Hearthstone World Championships as they're going on, you know, basically concurrently with me releasing these videos, the people are still playing Patron. People are still experimenting and doing things with Patron. Obviously, they don't have that Warsong Commander double frothing combo anymore, but doesn't mean Patron is worth less. Sorry, that's a little confusing. Actually, no, it's not. It doesn't mean Patron is worthless. It means that Patron can still do things. It means that pros still believe that Patron can do things that are relevant in the metagame. But because of the nerf, I think it's quite easy for regular players to think that, oh, you know, this is basically quote unquote killed the deck when it really hasn't. Because if you have a look at Patron, it's still a good card. It requires a lot of synergy, requires a lot of build around. If you refer to Ben Brode on Patreon 1. There's another link I'm going to have to put in my show. Ben Brode on Warsong Commander nerf. I've lost my train of thought. God damn it. Anyway, let's just finish this game. I think I'm trying to talk too much when I'm obviously not in a position to do so. Okay, let's clear this. I don't really want to take it. Yeah, it's interesting. Patient. Okay, well, given it the patient one, I'm going to buff my... I'm going to spread out the damage. Previously, I was going to put all the damage on the ogre, but the patient is obviously going to run to the ogre, so buffing something else makes sense, because the patient assassin, if you read the text, it has the Cobra effect, it has the death touch if you play MTG. Anything damaged by it will just be destroyed. So yeah, he was obviously going to do that because it made no sense to do anything else. What? Wow, hey, congrats on the legendary pickup. So he was obviously going to do the patient assassin into the ogre, so I wanted to spread some damage out, just to force him, just to make the buff relevant. I think we're once again in quite a lot of trouble.
Here we go.
Now, I don't think I play the Senjin, because the Senjin just dies straight up to the Ice Howl. Do I play this? Because the Ice Howl can't go up my face. So I think I just hold the Senjin. Yeah, I think I just have to hold the Senjin, and hopefully I find 1 damage or something. I don't know if I should really have a copy of the deck list. Well, it's here. Let me just zoom in. Okay, do we have any damage? Stormpike, sprint into deadly would do it. Stormpike would do it. Fan into whatever would do it. Like fan into the same answers I had before. Sprint into Stormpike wouldn't do it because it's too much mana. Yeah, so basically I'm relying on pulling some sort of card draw into deadly poison or sprinting into deadly poison. And that was not it, and I think we are done. Yeah, we're done. Okay.
Here we
Let's kill
go.
ourselves.
Well
played.
played.
Yeah, Ice Howl worked out pretty well for our opponent there. Okay, let's record another loss. Okay, so that's a total of 5 games tonight. I think I'll wrap things up here for tonight, and I'll probably be back tomorrow with some more casual Hearthstone rogue laddering experiments. So yeah, please let me know what you think about this run. Please let me know if you have any suggestions or comments or criticisms. I'm very open to hearing them on Twitter or leaving them as comments on the video. And so I would like to thank you guys in advance. You know, if you like the video, please share, subscribe, comment, do the usual social media things. It means a lot to me. So yeah, before we go, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. No Dust signing off.